What's cooking, Juventus fans? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. Today, basically, I should call it the Paolo Nonmollo show. He had a ton of information, ton of transfer market news that you guys care about to talk about Juventus' future, of who they're going to get, who they're going to keep, and who they're going to cut it out of here and send them back in. Stick with us. We'll fill you in now. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. My name is Justin Sofro. Today, it's Friday, February 11th, 2022, and of course I have your latest rundown of all things Juventus, all the news that you care about most, all hopefully neatly packed in a quickly absorbable function to get you in and out of here and back on your way about your day. Anyway, guys, before we do anything, though, please hit that like button, smash that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and also hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. Without further ado, let's just jump into it because this one's going to be, I don't want to say it's a doozy, but there's quite a bit of information. All right, first off, Paolo Nonmollo is talking about Ligt, and there's a lot of positive news in here. So when I say positive, I don't want to get our hopes up, right? I want to keep it level, but every time we get news that drops in here, we'll see how it works. But I do like Paolo Nonmollo and some of the news that he has had coming out of here. All right, first of all, he wants to talk about Ligt, and Juventus are intent on keeping him, saying that I report that the news that that negotiations have begun for the renewal of Ligt's contract, a 2-year extension at 8 million euros base plus 4 million bonuses, with half of the bonuses being easy to reach. So basically, you're confirming that Matthias de Ligt's going to get basically 10 million euros per season, potentially up to 12 million if he has some more difficult bonus options there down the line. I'm all here for it. If you look at the amount of money that Juventus have paid players of much lesser quality, give it to our boy who deserves it most, Matthias de Ligt. Keep him. Right now, if you can have physical specimens like you do with Vlahovic, like you do with de Ligt, and you're able to keep them and retain them for the future while also adding some potential pieces that I think are similar to that, maybe the next guy I'm going to talk about, then as long as they're healthy, right, as long as all of them are healthy, then I think it's a way to go, and I think Juventus are looking good. So we'll see if that works out, and hopefully they'll end up retaining Matthias de Ligt for the future. All right, and then of course I'm talking about another physical specimen, and I know a lot of you don't have to tell me. I understand the health issues and all that go along with it. But Paolo Nonmollo is talking about Nicols Zaniolo. So when I'm talking about guys that are just, basically freight trains out there, I kind of view him that in the midfield as well. He says, with or without Dybala, if there's a chance, they will go for Zaniolo. And I would also add that his agents have on the table the first draft of an offer of 4.2 million euros plus bonuses to reach 5.2 to 5.5 million euros. Bonuses, Roma are also pushing for the renewal. It's an open race. Now here's the thing: if I'm Juve, I feel like that's a reasonable ask, right? And I understand he hasn't been playing. Maybe lately he hasn't been up to maybe the standard that he has in previously. Maybe still working through his issues, and I understand, holding back for the health issues. I personally, and I know there's you all out there that disagree with me, and I understand the health issues, and I completely understand, and I can agree with you to a sense on it. But to me, I'll be honest, I'm blinded when it comes to Nicols Zaniolo. To me, he's the player that I've wanted for a really long time, and that I would jump through some hoops to end up getting him to play at Juventus. That's what I'll say. So I may be completely in the wrong. That's fine. But I'd love to see Zaniolo here, and I don't think those numbers are insane, especially given if you're looking at 4.2 million bonuses base when Federico Bernardeschi is actually asking for 4 million euros. I don't think they're the same player, right? All right. Continuing on, again, fight with me in the comment section down below. Now we got to talk about the Dybala situation. I know, but trust me, there's a lot more juicy stuff coming after this, but we got to talk about it. Dybala basically is the same as talking about the Vlahovic stuff, talking about Locatelli in the summer. It's the big important one for Juventus, especially if you saw Dybalovic both scoring yesterday. That bromance is going to be flourishing. I'm promising you that. It goes on to say that in October, agreement of 8 plus 2 million euros bonus for Dybala's contract. December, when it was time to put pen to paper, Jorge Anton asked for a signing bonus for himself and or an annual staying bonus. Hence, a Diva Bene statement on agents that basically, basically Jorge Anton is He's an asshat. We'll say that. All right. Continuing on, Juve are now saying 8 plus 2 million euros without Antun is what they're willing to pay for Dybala. But with Antun, they will do 7 plus 2 million euros. So basically, that other million, or I guess, would be going to Jorge Antun unless there's any additional fee that they're paying. I would imagine not, though. Up to Dybala now, who, I repeat, and this is all these are Paolo Nonmollo's words, who, I repeat, has only Juve on his mind, and I add today he seems to be much more inclined to an act of love. He'll talk to Antun. So basically, he'll decide. And right now, he seems to, he loves Juventus. He wants to stay with Juventus. He may act in the best interest for Juventus, whether that be taking a €1 million cut for Jorge Antun to get it, or maybe talk to Antun and figure out their situation and why he's such a pain in the what. All right, let's continue on though. We're going to have, here we go, talking about Morata and the situation with them. Nonmollo continues saying, on Morata, through his agent, without negotiating with Atletico, Juve has circulated the idea of offering 10 million euros plus 5 million of maximum bonus compared to the 35 million euros agreed upon. So this, it's just an idea. It's an idea that Juventus have talked about with him to see if they think that can get done. They're going to talk with Atletico, see if Atletico can drop their price some. If they don't, I don't know how likely it'll be that he'll end up staying with the club long term. Obviously, he only came in for a short period of time. Yesterday's match wasn't super impressive, if I'm being honest. But at the same time, it was a short amount of time. He did flourish a little bit in the match before that, though. So we'll end up seeing, hopefully, I think the 15 million euros is a pretty agreeable number. If they have to go a little bit higher, I don't know if I even see them coming up to 20 mil. For Atletico and what they're wanting. 30, 35 is a steep price, especially to pay for player Morata's caliber right now, I feel like. Anyway, continuing on. Now we got to talk about Juan Cordaro and his situation at Juventus. Nonmollo goes on to say, and Nonmollo's just killing it today. He's got updates on every single player, basically, that you could care about. We talked about Cordaro needing to get, or potentially getting renewed. Well, there may be some roadblocks there, a little bit, not Paulo Dybala size roadblocks, but some roadblocks nonetheless. Cordaro has much better money offers from Arabia, but he's still talking with Juve. The distance I knew was on the duration, offered 1 + 1 year, requested 3 or 2 + 1. Cordaro from 5 million net has an offer of 3.5 million plus bonuses. He's asking for 4, so he's trying to get more money out of Juventus. If you want a personal feeling without the information, I'm not very optimistic, but it can mean Sule's promotion to the first team. Welcome. So Nonmollo saying he's not very optimistic that Juventus will match these offers for that Cordaro wants. If Cordaro wants to go play in Arabia, by all means, have at it. I'm not saying anything negative about Arabia, but I'm just saying when you could be playing for Juventus in the Serie A, I would imagine that's a better stage. I would imagine that you have a better audience. I don't know that person. Again, that's just my personal feeling. I feel like you'd rather playing in Serie A for a team like Juventus than going to play in Arabia. That's just my personal opinion. So we'll see. I guess basically we'll see how it ends up playing out. If Cordaro decides I want the money, I don't really care about the performance I'm playing for a top tier team, so be it. Then that means Sule gets an option, and then that's his time to shine for Juventus. So we'll see how that ends up playing out. I know some of the people may be positive on it. He didn't have the greatest game. He actually had a really poor game yesterday playing for Juventus, but we'll see what goes on from there. All right, continuing on, Paolo Nonmollo goes on to say that they're trying to replace Alexander at Juventus, and one of the names to do that is potentially Wijndal. I see that Wijndal's name is finally coming out in the papers. There are already talks taking place with AZ. His contract expires in 2023. So we'll see if Juventus can end up landing this player. Personally, I mean, you got to be better than Alexander, right? At this point, I'm ready to give anybody a shot. Yeah, we'll see how they can do in this situation. I don't know the exact competition with this for him, but we'll see. Continuing on. Let's go on. Let's keep it moving. Just got to keep it rolling and get all this news out there in front of you. Paolo Nonmollo continues to say, talking about Kessie, and I know a lot of people were mentioning him following the match against when Inter and Milan played each other just the other day. But basically saying some time ago I wrote that Kessie, was on June 3rd, was the first name made by Allegri for 2022. That's the guy that he wanted to bolster his midfield. Well, now with Zakaria, as far as I know, you can cross his name off the list. He's not coming to Juventus. He will join PSG or Antonio Conte at Tottenham. So it's dead. It's bringing Zakaria, and I'm very happy with the addition of Zakaria. I think Kessie is a great player, but I think honestly, I am probably more happy that we currently still have that we have Zakaria instead. I think it'll be a great option moving forward. Probably was a cheaper option too. Maybe. Paolo Nonmollo continues. Like, I don't know why I'm saying his name. It's all Paolo Nonmollo today, all right? Right? Okay. He goes on to say the club is monitoring the Yoli situation. And I repeat, not at those crazy figures you read, but at offering him about 3.5 million euros plus bonuses, which I think makes much more sense. You're not going to give him crazy amounts of money for Yoli, of all players, right? He's not that good of a player to offer him that much money, but he could be a serviceable option there to bolster the center back ranks, especially when you have Chiellini's situation, which is constantly in flux. You never know if wins his last game or wins his last season playing. I mean, it's probably going to be within the next year or two, max. You never know. Maybe he'll try to be a Buffon, but it's a little bit more of a high-duty, high-level play than playing goalkeeper is. No offense to the greatest to ever play the game. So we'll see how that ends up going on. Unless you're playing last game for Juventus, then it was pretty high level, high pressure, which, of course, Buffon's had a lot of those. Continue on, we got to talk about Bernardeschi and his situation. Basically, Paolo Nonmollo is saying the offer for Bernardeschi has not changed for the moment. From 4 million euros, the offer is 2.5 million euros plus 1 million bonuses. It's probably the negotiation that, in my opinion, will take the longest. And I don't blame him. If I'm Juventus, I am in no hurry to sign Bernardeschi on for any kind of deal, any kind of long-term deal at this point. I think I would more than likely just stick with, okay, we'll see how this works out, but for right now, here's the money we're offering. If you want to take the 2.5 plus 1 million bonuses, fine. I honestly, personally, think that's too much money for Bernardeschi. That's just my opinion. I know you all disagree, but personally, I think that's too much money right now. But if he's really wanting to wait around for 4 million, that's fine. You can be the last guy to sign an extension, personally. All right, let's move it on. SheLIO is another name he's talking. He's covering the facts about him, saying SheLIO has offers from Spain. It's not true that he is in advanced negotiation with Juventus at this time. From 2.5 million euros, Juve offered him 1.5 plus 1 million bonuses for 2 years plus 1 year. The club could activate. So we'll see. Those again, another player that we got to talk about. Continue on and see how that'll work out for him and for Juventus in their future. My personal feelings on this matter are I'm okay with extending him, especially for that low amount of price, as long as he's willing to do it. And I would imagine SheLIO probably would be open to doing that, to stay for Juventus, to play for a top-tier team rather than to go play for maybe a mid-tier Spanish team. I don't know the names of the Spanish teams that are interested in him, but that's just my guess personally. So we'll see. But he's been serviceable as of late, so I'm okay with him coming back and staying with the club for another season. All right, last two, here we go. Juventus are keeping their youngsters. Paolo Nonmollo is saying, I don't know why I keep saying Paolo Nonmollo, right? I've been doing this the whole video. I already anticipate that Ranocchia, Meret and Sule will stay with Juventus. They will only leave if the club remains in control of their futures. So as it stands right now, that seems positive. I know a lot of you guys are high on these players. You guys like Ranocchia. You're talking about Meret a little bit. And you're talking about Sule. I think Meret probably has the most talent that can be developed, and he might be the biggest time player in the long run. I know a lot of people would like to see Ranocchia get a shot, but then you also have players like, when I say youth, he's not a youth, but he's young. Nicolo Ravella. What's his situation going to be? Is he going to come to Juventus in the summer? Is that even an idea right now? Or is he maybe put on the back burner now that you're going to bring in you got Zakaria, but then you're potentially going to bring in another guy down the line, right? Maybe another big-time midfield name. But then also, what about Nicolo Fagioli, right? So we got Nicky Beans. What are we going to do with him? So there's a lot of names that there. Somebody's going to get left out, right? Somebody's going to have to. There's no way you're going to be able to add Nicky Beans, Nicolo Ravella, Philip Ranocchia, Manetti, and Sule. I don't know why I was doing first names there. Anyway, there's no way you're going to be able to bring in all 5 of those players to the first team anytime soon unless you're going to have a mass exodus here in the next 2 to 3 years. I don't see it happening, so I wonder who's going to be there on the chopping block. I believe maybe Ranocchio might be one that gets left out in the cold a little bit as well. So we'll see how that goes. That's just my guess. All right. Let's continue on, though, with the final story of the day. We finally got through all of Paolo Nonmollo's breaking news that he wanted to give all of us. Anyway, basically just saying that Bremer is not a target for Juventus. Because I don't understand all the talks about getting Gatti and using him for Bremer. Bremer will go to Inter, Milan, if and only if they don't get Botman or Conte. So he's got Inter, he goes to Milan, or he can go to Tottenham with Conte. He's not coming to Juventus. Get it out of your minds. They're not doing it. There's enough bad blood, I think, there with Torino and the whole situation there. Their feelings on Juventus, the way, of course, their management treats Juventus is ridiculous. It's, I don't get it, especially when Juventus sell players to them, but they're not willing to even look at giving a player to Juventus, right? Or even entertaining the idea, right? Remember when Belotti was an idea? I know it was never really serious, and I know a lot of people are anti Belotti, but at the same time, just some of the comments made by the president there, Cairo, was ridiculous. Anyway. So that's how it looks right now. It seems, I guess, more and more likely. I know we were talking about this the other day. I know some people have really thought that Bremer was the target and that Gatti was just a wagering tool to try to negotiate a trade for him. It looks like no. It looks like Juventus actually really like him, and I know Chiellini made comments saying that he is his heir, so he's treating Gatti that way. And Ghost Conti had that goal in the very first match, returning to play in City B for Frosinone. So we'll see how that ends up developing there in the future. Hopefully he's a good player for Juventus down the line. Anyway, guys, I think that's all the news I have for you today. It was a long one, thanks to Paolo Nonmollo and all of his things that he wanted to get out there for all of us to talk about for Juventus and their Mercado future. Obviously, this is really more about renewing people and potential transfer targets. But then I wonder exactly what we're going to look at really when it comes to the midfield. Are those big name targets that we talked about here in the last couple weeks going to resurge a little bit? And maybe we'll see who Juventus will go for. Most importantly, though, Juventus need to make sure they solidify their spot in the top 4. Maybe by the end of the season, if things work out, really try to get a chance at the Scudetto, but of course, and see how Champions League runs out. Anyway, guys, appreciate you guys for tuning in at all. As always, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell icon to stay notified for all our latest videos. If you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and follow Bianconeri Zone on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you follow myself at Justin Sofro on Twitter, and of course my boys Alejandro Fancello at AlejandroBZ on Twitter, and Julian Genotti at Genotti151 on Twitter as well. I'll see you guys next time. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri.